Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking through all the books that I am hopefully going to be reading in December. So December is going to be a pretty busy month for me because not only is it my birthday and I'm going away for my birthday this year, it's also Christmas and my dad is coming over to visit for the first time in 2 years, which I am really excited about because obviously pandemic, so I haven't seen him for 2 years because he lives in America, and so gonna try and keep my TBR sort of achievable this month. I don't want to put a load of books on my TBR and then feel bad that I don't get around to reading them all, but there are a couple of readathons that I do want to try and take part in December, and I've deliberately chosen readathons that I think are quite easy to take part in and that are quite flexible. So the first readathon that I want to take part in December is Book Christmas, which is based on Book Snooker, and that's hosted by Helen from Helen's Book Haven. And the idea behind the readathon is that you read books that match the different festive colours, so the front cover of the books that you read should match the different festive colours. The second readathon that I want to take part in is the Festive readathon, which is hosted by Steph from Steph Loves, and again I think it's quite an easy readathon to take part in because it's only a week long and the prompts are all to do with reading festive books. I'll leave all the details linked in the description if you would like to find out more, but instead of doing my usual TBR game this month, I decided to write down all of the prompts for both of the readathons that I want to take part in and put them in a jar. Wow, this isn't a jar, it's a mug, but I've wrote down all of the prompts for those readathons and I'm just going to pick them out. I'm going to pick 5 prompts I think for 5 different books, and then yeah, hopefully that will mean that my TBR is a little more realistic this month, because there are also a few other books that I want to be reading for secret TBRs. They're not really secret TBRs, but there are a few vlogs that I've got planned for December that I also need to read books for. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and pick the first prompt, which let's hope that that focuses. And the first prompt, is read a book with a white cover. So for this I actually have quite a few options because there are quite a few Christmassy books that I want to read in December that all have white covers, but I'm actually going to go for a non-festive book for this one because I recently got The Song Rising out from the library and I obviously need to read this and give it back to the library, so this is the book that I'm going to be using for that prompt because as you can see the cover is mostly white. This is the third book in the Bone Season series, which is a paranormal fantasy series, kind of sci-fi as well actually, but it's set in an alternative world to ours where clairvoyancy is illegal. And in the first book we're introduced to the main character Paige Mahoney, who is a clairvoyant, and she's captured and she's taken away to this place where she learns what happens to clairvoyants when they're captured. But there's also this underground network in London that is run by these different gangs of clairvoyants, and it is a really hard book to talk about. Well, it's a hard series to talk about without spoilers because the world does open up quite a lot in the first book, but that is what I really enjoyed about the first book. And what I also enjoyed about the second book was how it became a little more political. I will say that the magic system in this world is very complicated, and that would be my only real criticism I suppose, other than actually the romance as well. I don't really like the romance in this series, and so sometimes I ask myself, why do I like this series? I think that it's generally the writing and the atmosphere that I enjoy most about this series. It's very atmospheric, and with the way that the second book ended, I'm really intrigued about this one. I gave the second book 5 stars actually. I probably should have said that. The first book was like a 3.5, then the second book was 5 stars, and I'm hoping that this is going to be another 5 stars. It's quite short actually, and I found the first 2 books were really fast paced. I read them quite quickly, and so I'm hoping that it will be a similar case with this one. Okay, so here we go with prompt number 2, which is read a book with a gold cover. Okay, so I might be cheating a little bit with this one because I'm not sure that the front cover of this book is technically gold, but it is a goldy yellow, so I think it counts. But the book that I've chosen for gold cover is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I'm actually planning to buddy read this with my dad because I got him a copy of this book for Christmas last year, and I think he's planning to read it on the plane over here. I say that because I've told him to read it on the plane over here because because he needs a book for the journey, and I think that this is quite short. I'm pretty sure it's around 300 pages, and I have read 2 of Frederick Backman's books before. I read Beartown last Christmas actually, and then I read A Man Called Uwe earlier this year, and I gave both of them 5 stars, and so I'm hoping that this is going to be another 5 stars. I don't know a lot about this one other than it's about a group of people who are at this open house event, and I think that they're taken hostage by a bank robber, and then over the course of the book you learn more about these different characters and you see how they have a lot in common. I don't know 100%. I think that it's a very character driven story though. I've heard a lot of people say that this made them cry and that it was very heartwarming. Is that the right word? I've heard that it's the type of book that really makes you think, and so I think that me and my dad are gonna hopefully enjoy talking about this one when we both read it. Hopefully we will both enjoy it, otherwise that's gonna be a little bit awkward. Okay, so here we go with number 3, which is, I don't know if that's in focus, but the prompt is to read a book with red or green on the cover, and for this I'm going to be reading Inner Holidays by Christina Lauren. So this is the first festive book that I'm putting on my TBR, but it's one that I'm really excited about because I heard a lot of hype for this book last year, and I think that generally people did enjoy it. I've never read anything by Christina Lauren before, but I do have another of their books on my Kindle, The Honeymooners, which is more of a summary romance. So I am hoping that I like their writing. I'm trying to remember what this book is about because it's been a while since I've heard anyone talk about it, but I think that this is a romance with a sci-fi twist because it's about a woman who's forced to relive this weekend over and over again, kind of like Groundhog Day. I'm pretty sure this is also set in Utah, which is where my dad lives. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this woman is traveling home for the holidays, and that's when she gets stuck in this Groundhog Day situation. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. I'm hoping that it's going to be really fun and light-hearted and just the perfect Christmassy read. Okay, so I think this is prompt number 4. And the prompt is it in focus? Is it in focus? Yeah, so the prompt is to read a book with snow on the cover. And I think the book that I'm going to read for this is, what's the book called? The Christmas Escape by Sarah Morgan. So this is, I think, quite a new release. I'm pretty sure that it only came out this year, but I know that Sarah Morgan is quite well known for writing Christmas contemporary romances. I'm pretty sure that I have read another of her books, but it was a long time ago. I had a quick look on Goodreads and apparently I enjoyed it, even though I can't remember anything about it. But yeah, this is also the Readathon book club pick for December. I think the country for December is Norway, and I'm pretty sure that this is set in Norway, or the characters travel to Norway. I'm pretty sure that it's set in Lapland, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about a woman who takes her best friend's daughter to Lapland, and she ends up having a romance with one of the other guests. I haven't really looked too much into it. I literally bought this because it was 99p on Kindle the other day, and I was in the mood for buying lots of Christmassy books, even though I did the same thing last year, and I still have books on my Kindle from last year that I didn't end up reading because obviously the only time I really want to be reading Christmas books is around Christmas. So can't remember what I was saying, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that this does have snow on the cover. Okay, so I think this is the last book that I'm gonna be picking, and the prompt is read a book with grey on the cover, and I do actually have a book for this which I think is going to count. I don't actually know now thinking about it how much grey is on the cover. I have it on my Kindle, but I will obviously put a picture up here. So it's Ruin by John Gwynne, which is the 3rd book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. I have actually already started this book. I've literally only read the first 2 chapters, but I know that the other books in this series do have a sort of grey and white cover, so I'm hoping that this is going to count. But yeah, this is, like I said, the 3rd book in a series, and it's an epic adult high fantasy that's set in this world where there are giants, and there's this prophecy about good and evil, and it's, yeah, really good so far. I feel like I've done a really bad job of explaining that book. Wow, what is wrong with me today? Yes, so there's this prophecy that there's going to be this battle between good versus evil, and there are a lot of characters in this series series, but in the first book you're not really sure what side certain characters are going to fall on, so that is what I enjoyed most about the first book. I also enjoyed the second book a lot more than the first book because I felt like I knew the characters a lot better and I was a lot more attached to them. But also what I generally like about this series is the epic battle scenes and the epic fight scenes. I think that John Gwynne does a really good job of writing those and really putting you in the action, and so really excited to continue this series. I did have it in my head that I was going to try and finish The Faithful and the Fallen before the end of the year, but I don't know if that's going to happen because this is my current train read. So I've started a new job this month and it means that I now have a 40-minute train journey to and from work, so that's like an hour and a half reading time every day, well, every day that I'm in the office, and this is my Kindle read, so I'm reading it every day that I get the train. And like I said, I'm only 2 chapters in, but I do feel invested now in this story and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in this book and also how it's going to end, because I know that John Gwynne doesn't hold back and I'm a little nervous about this one. But yeah, I think that brings me to the end of the video because like I said, there are a few other books that I am hopefully also going to be reading in December, but I'm reading them for secret reasons and so I can't tell you about them because then it wouldn't be a secret. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments if you're planning on taking part in any readathons and what books you're going to be reading. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.